last time you were here, you were telling us the story of how with Jar of Hearts, you didn't even really expect to release it maybe at all.
Yeah.
I want to know a little bit more about that story. I think it's so cool.
And for the listeners, that was the first big song.
Yes.
Jar of Hearts? Okay.
So it was June 30th, 2010, 8 p.m. exactly, that I became a recording artist. So I was a waitress up until that point, and I had like a lawyer that I knew that I was talking to, but like nothing official. I had a manager that I was talking to, but like not signed or anything. People were basically maybe like courting me, but I also had so many waitressing jobs that I didn't have much free time.
Yeah.
So like I would barely get like one song done in like 3 weeks because I was working for free. The producer that I had met was working for free and on his off time, and everyone was just sort of like, you know, pro bono, whatever. Yeah. And so it didn't look very good. It didn't look like if you did a snapshot into like January to June of 2010, like I wasn't doing much, but I had written songs my whole life. So if you like, you know, go back. When I was 15, I started writing love songs. I was like obsessed with the Beatles and Jason Mraz, and so I had a ton of songs, but I was so shy. I was like so not into being the one in the spotlight. Truthfully, like I can't lie, I was not holding a hairbrush, like singing in the mirror, like I'm gonna be a star. My brother was, which is funny, my older brother, and he's a guitar player. He's incredible, and he had a record deal when he was 16.
Oh wow!
With Clive Davis, like in a rock and roll band.
Shoot.
Yeah, and so he wanted that really bad. And I was just like, you know, little sister, like, oh, I do this too, but no one listened. You know, like I was like so emo.
You were such a Twilight fan.
Oh my God.
You would have been the people on TikTok who like they just show like their mouth down with the ukulele.
Yes, or one tear.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, thank God I didn't have Instagram when I was like 13.
Wait, were you ever a ukulele girl?
I wasn't actually, but I was covers on YouTube girl.
Okay.
So like I did like I'm Yours. I did The Scientist.
Wow.
No one watched. I had 0 views. So when people were like, "Oh, you're a YouTube sensation," I was like, "No, absolutely not." I had 1 viewer, my best friend Kelty.
Shout out Kelty.
Shout out Kelty, my fairy godmother. Most people know the story of her in my life because it's like it's so much. But she grew up in Canada with the choreographer from So You Think You Can Dance as kids. Stacey Tukey's mom, I guess, was their dance teacher, and Kelty was a Radio City Rockette in New York, and Stacey Tukey was like famous on So You Think You Can Dance.
No big deal.
Right. And so I had this demo. The true story is I had a demo of Jar of Hearts and I didn't want to be the artist. So at the bottom line is like I came to LA because I heard songwriting's a job and I was like, cool, I want to do that. But like, I don't want to sing the songs. And then everyone in my life was like, what? You're insane. Like you sing the songs, you know, because I was a singer. I mean, I sang at my first Holy Communion. Like I've always sang,
me
you know,
too.
Cute. We're so Italian.
We're so Italian. Yeah.
And so I was so shy. I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I just do this for me. Like, you know, but I did have a collection of songs. So I think that's really important that when I had like a moment, I did fly to New York City and play my songs for all these record labels. Like I was an artist. I just was like the last one to notice, you know? Aww. And, so I feel like, so I sent Kelty the demo. So I made Jar of Hearts with this guy that named Barrett, who like produced it, and this other guy helped me like rewrite. It was called Jar Full of Hearts. I wrote it on guitar, and then we switched it to piano and like made it really kind of dark and emo-y-er. And then I did 3-part harmony. I was like, I couldn't believe how good I sounded. I'd never sang with myself like that before. Like this was my first recording of me. And so I sat in my Mini Cooper. I had a Mini Cooper at the time, with Kelty in the car, and we sat outside our apartment because we lived across the street from each other on Beechwood. And we sat in the car and I played her the demo and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I've never sounded like this ever. I'm so excited. This is so cool. Like, I think we're going to give it to other artists, you know, like I think that's what we'll do. Like, but this is my first song to like shop, you know? And she goes, oh my God, you have to email it to me right now. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, okay, but like, don't show anyone. She's like, yeah, I won't show anyone. And she immediately emailed it to Stacey, and because she has the email still, and she was like, hey, because Stacey at the time was doing like lyrical, super emotional. She was the ballad choreographer. So it's like all the other, you know, it was like a thing in 2010. Yeah. And I didn't know because I'm not a dancer, and so I didn't watch the show.
Yeah.
And so Kelty was like, hey, this is so your vibe. Maybe one day you can play it on your show. And Stacy said, oh my God, how about Wednesday? And that was June 30th, 2010. And I pulled over on the side of the road when Kelty called me, which was like the next day. And I like called my mom. I remember I was like, oh my God, my song's going to be on TV. And like, again, talk about like not imagining how big of a gift something can be. Like, I just thought it was going to be on the show. Like, okay, a minute and a half of my song is going to be on So You Think You Could Dance. There's going to be 2 people dancing. I'm going to go to CBS Studios and like see it. And then I'm like going to go back to my day job the next day. Like, I just thought like, that's what's going to happen. Like, I took off work. I got my hair done. I was like, this is going to be cool. And then like what actually happened was, it was like, I guess by the time it aired in LA, it had gone up 36, 26, 16, 6 on the chart. And I'm like, what chart? Like, I didn't even know, like I had put it out.
iTunes chart at this time?
It was iTunes.
Wow.
And what's so cool is I send a gift most years, or just a note to the 9 people that helped this happen. So there's a guy that worked at iTunes, that this all couldn't have happened without him, because he was driving home from work in San Francisco and heard about what was happening and drove back to the office and put Jar of Hearts in the brick. So do you remember when like iTunes had that brick that would like this?
It would just revolve.
Yeah, the rotating brick.
Yes.
Yeah.
With all like song suggestions?
Yeah, like that's like, it was a big deal if you got in the brick. So he literally drove back and put it in the brick. And what's funny is like, I didn't even have, it was my name, but I didn't have a record label. I didn't like, I registered it just under like, I like made up a record record company for myself and just put it up there. And like, he was also, because my pseudo manager had this friend at iTunes, like he put it up that fast, because you couldn't even back then put a song on iTunes that fast.
Right.
So we found out on a Friday, this was a Wednesday. So we needed it to happen like over the weekend to even get the song uploaded. It was all these like amazing little, I always say like the shooting star in a Disney movie. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
It was just these like things that all happened just harmoniously.
Insane.
Do you know? It was like, I don't think it could have happened any other way. And there were all these different people that had their role in it. And like that guy Jordan in San Francisco had a role in it. And like, it just took off. It was just such a big moment for me. And then I was brought back to the show a week later and I played it live on So You Think You Can Dance. And Kat Deely did like the most amazing intro for me. I remember like almost crying, but then I had to like play. And she was like, we've changed this girl's life. Like a week ago, this girl was a waitress. And then this song came out on this show and now she has a record deal and she's not a waitress anymore. And she's like, on her new path. And like, it was just so cool. Like, I feel like even America got excited about being a part of it, because that was back when like, I don't know, 60 million viewers. Like the show had every
Insane.
episode. Like it was wild. And
I'm a little fixated on the title being Jar Full of Hearts, and I'm trying to figure out, how did that sing?
yeah,
Was it the same melody?
It was the same melody, but I said collecting a jar full of hearts.
Wow. And who was like, cut the full? Someone had to be the person that was like, it's a hit, but get rid of full of.
Get rid of full, right? And not like the ice inside of your soul. I wish I rewrote that. No, I'm trying to think if there was a writer with me and the producer, but I don't know if it was me or if it was them. It feels so long ago.
Wow.
But yeah, someone was like, cool, lose the full.
That was the only note probably too, right?
I mean, maybe, yeah, because it was like, I actually have like a video somewhere on YouTube, because I used to post like vlogs. So I was like an influencer before influencing was like a thing. And I had like one of those like little cameras that like had a button on it. It was like a little...
The little brick, like the not GoPro, but...
Yeah, what were they called?
It looked like an old iPod.
Yes. And I would like go around like on my journey and like film everything on that. And then I'd edit it all together
like
myself.
Like a camcorder? What was
No.
it called?
It was a digital video. Like you would plug it in and you would charge it.
And they'd be different colors, right?
Yes.
Like, I know what you're talking about.
Was it? It's not GoPro. Was it something like that though?
I know. I thought it was a GoPro, but no, it was...
This is very important.
I know. I'm trying to figure it out, but keep going. I'll keep working on it.
Either way, so I like filmed the making of Jar of Hearts. So you can actually see it. I think it's still on YouTube. Where I was like filming
the flip, the pure digital
flip.
flip.
That's it.
We'll put a photo
it's
on
called
the screen.
Flip.
Pure digital flip ultra camera. You can get one for $80 on eBay if you want
I actually still have mine. I found it the other day when I was going
420.
through my like my
Yeah, and that was the back
attic.
of it with the big red button.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I filmed the making of it and me doing all the harmonies and like I think it's on YouTube. Now it'd be so funny if it's not, but I had it up for a while at least. And so I like, I don't know why we were talking about that. Where were we? Jar Full of Hearts.
Oh,
So
Jar Full
at
of
some
Hearts,
point,
yes.
at some
Right.
point it went from guitar to piano, and then it's all kind of a blur. Honestly, it was like so. And at the time, I'm a waitress. Like I don't think this is like that's what I think is really cool about when things get really successful or really popular or famous. That like you genuinely had no perception of like. When people would be like, did you know? Did you know? And I'm like, no, I didn't know.
No, yeah.
What do you mean, did I know? Like, I had 14 other, like, super emo songs. Like,
Thanks so much for watching this clip from our podcast, Counter-Melodies.
If you'd like to watch the full episode, be sure to click the link in the description.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye, guys.
Counter-Melodies.